Pangulo ng ating bansa. Kilalanin natin ang kanilang pagkatao, kilatisin ang kanilang mga pananaw at saloobin para sa pagbabago at kaunlaran ng sambayanang Pilipino. Inihahandog ng Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, Jesuit Communications, Episcopal Commission on Social Communications, Veritas 846, TV Maria, Rappler, at ng CMN, the Catholic Media Network, ang Usapang Halalan 2022, the CBCP Election Forum. Makiisa, makibahagi, manood, makinig sa naiiba at espesyal na presidential forum na ito upang mas lalong makilala ang susunod na Pangulo ng ating Republika. Abangan sa March 25, Biyernes, alas 6 ng gabi sa lahat ng ating FM at AM radio stations ng CMN Catholic Media Network mula Apari hanggang Hulo. Jesuit Communications, Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM at sa iba't ibang mga social media platforms ng mga simbahan. Usapang Halalan 2022, the CBCP Election Forum.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugo, todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Ipag the Blue Eagle, galing, giting at tigil.
It's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Idea of Women's Month, I cannot not pay tribute to women I believe in. And today I will bring to the fore the Joy Belmonte that I've loved and supported even when we were still students in the Ateneo. Today we talk about Joy, the woman, the public servant, the mother of the city, the mother of her son, the wife of my student Ray, and yes, Joy, the person, the diligent, thorough, and conscientious student who has brought all these good principles in her governance. Good afternoon, Joy. Kumusta ka?
Good afternoon, Noel. I'm fine. All is well. Nice naman.
Belated happy birthday. And I saw you during your birthday. Surprise. Nandun ka. But you just came from an reach out session sa apostolate. Parang, is that how you usually celebrate your birthday?
Yes, Noel. Every year, without fail, I always spend naman my birthday with the people of Quezon City. Yan ang kinagawian ko para maiba naman kasi yung karamihan sa mga politiko, they celebrate with big parties. And ako naman, I decided it's more meaningful to just spend the day with the people.
At walang fanfare, no? Walang ingay, walang media. Parang gano'n, ang galing lang. And then, parang yun, merong fulfillment sa loob. Pero parang we're in the midst of an election, Joy. Parang, kumusta ka in the flurry of all these things during preparations sa elections?
Yeah, well actually, Noel, kahit na sabihin na natin magsisimula pa lang yung campaign period ng local sa Friday, the 25th, ay matagal na tayong, kumbaga, nagpaparamdam sa tao at matagal na rin tayong bumababa ulit sa barangay. No? Nagpapakilala muli kasi nung panahon ng pandemya, hindi rin tayo masyado nakababa. No? Bagamat, usually, when you're a public servant, you're really always with the people. Every day, every weekend, kung busy ka sa trabaho sa office. Pero this time, because of the pandemic, we were restricted in our movements. No? Kaya naghahabol ako para maalala ng mga tao ulit na nandito yung mayora nila. Although lagi naman nilang sinasabi, mayora, naramdaman ka naman namin kahit hindi ka namin nakita, naramdaman ka namin dahil mabilis, mahusay yung COVID response. Nandun yung ayuda, nandun yung mga doktor at nurse na nag-alaga sa kanila, nandun yung barangay na lagi ko naman sinusuportahan para magbigay ng kailangan nilang mga tulong na sa panahon naman ng pandemya. So it's just been tiring because it's a very big city and our population is 3 million. So every day is a very full day mula alas 8 hanggang siguro alas 8 ng gabi. So I work very long hours now.
Grabe. So, how can you describe your 3 years, 3 challenging years as mayor of the city? Kakaiba because we were hit by the pandemic, no? But even naman with or without the elections, parang your policies, well, nakikita natin yung pag-abot mo dun sa sa pangangailangan ng mga tao. But in a capsule, I guess, paano mo ma-describe yung 3 years mo as a city mayor?
You know, Noel, I've been very fortunate kasi sa tingin ko nakatulong sa akin itong malaking hamon na ito.
Yes.
For one thing is I'm a first-term mayor and then ilang buwan pa lang ako nakaupo, 8 or 9 months, bigla na lang pandemic na. And it's something that nobody expected. So you really had to be strong and you really had to have strength of character to be able to handle this. At nung unang mga buwan ko sa pag-responde sa pandemya, alam naman natin, alam ng lahat na ako ay naging biktima ng massive and intense bashing. No?
Yeah.
And ito pinag-usapan rin namin sa ibang mga reporters at iba pa natin mga kapanayan na some of it did not seem organic. Some of it was organic definitely and some of it was not. No? So I think pinagsamantalahin din ng ating mga kaaway itong panahon para siguro may baba ang moral ko bilang isang leader. But what I did, I took this as a challenge. Sabi ko, hindi pwede na maapektuhan ako nito. No? Because I have 3 million people depending on me and they gave me the mandate to serve them. I have to focus on the job. And so what I did was I deactivated all of my social media accounts. Kaya kung yung mga bumati sa akin ng happy birthday, I appreciate it pero hindi ko nabasa yung inyong mga greetings kasi wala po akong social media accounts because I really wanted to just focus on the COVID response. And Noel, I'm very proud to say na nung simula ng pandemya, siguro may mga survey companies na naglabas ng mga kanilang mga surveys dun sa mga impressions ng mga tao, sa kanilang mga leaders. I was at the last place. Ako yung pinakakulelat na mayor sa buong NCR. But you know, last week, I was so happy because may lumabas na naman na survey, which is again, the impressions of people as to the performance of their mayors. Nasa taas na akong Noel. And I felt that I vindicated myself, with the fact that I was able to hold my ground, I was able to stay focused, and I was able to exercise strength of character during these very trying times.
And we always talk about that, Joy, no? Don't answer controversies or issues. Your best weapon is a good work. Always. Yun, di ba? Yun yung palaging principle natin. So, ano yung pamantayan mo or ano yung principle mo dun sa bashing? Kasi sometimes, di ba, parang you brush it aside and then focus on the work. Tama yon. But sometimes, it's also hurtful. Di ba?
Yeah. Well, Noel, what I don't read doesn't hurt me. Kaya nga I had to deactivate. Kasi I noticed na a lot of the bashing, hindi naman siya constructive. You know, I actually am one of those mayors who take feedback very seriously. Lalo na kapag constructive yung feedback. Kahit na medyo mapapuna siya, they point out your shortcomings, I appreciate feedback because they help me perform better. Pero there's a difference between feedback given to you so that you can perform better, and bashing, no? So
That's
ang
true.
ginawa ko ay, while I deactivated myself from social media, I put together a team. Yung team naman na ito, sabi ko, kayo magbasa ng mga posts, no? You set aside the bashing kasi hindi kayo apektado dahil hindi naman kayo ako. Pero yung mga tingin ninyong lehitimong mga hinaing ng mga taong bayan, mga pangangailangan ng taong bayan, yan, i-record din yon at sagutin natin yan at tulungan natin yung mga yan. So we have to, and that is one of the, for me, one of the sad parts about trolling and bashing. It's because it prevents us from really identifying sino ba talaga yung nagsasabi ng totoo na kailangan ng tulong, suporta doon sa nagbabash lang. Kasi ang nangyayari, you tend to lump them all together as bashing when in fact some have very legitimate concerns that should be addressed. But now we're trying to differentiate the let's say the noise from the substance.
Very good, very good. And that's at a certain point, people were telling you, oh, hire a PR team. Pero parang sabi, ikaw mismo nagsabi, ay, gagamitin mo na lang yung pondo para sa PR team dun sa pagbigay sa mga tao. Di ba? Tama naman yun. And then, eventually, ang tutulong sa'yo, yung mga volunteers mo mismo. So, yun yung maganda. So, next, Joy, has it gone to a point na may legal action ka na over those people na nagsaspread ng malicious and fake news about you? I know I've heard of those instances too. But Joy, we were talking about all those bashers and probably the constructive comments about your governance. But then, meron ding organized black propaganda and smear campaign, no, against you. What were the most hurtful lies spread about you na medyo parang tinamaan ka mismo at you prompted you to take legal action also?
Well, Noel, you're asking, I'm sorry you were choppy, but I'm trying to understand what you said.
Okay.
And you're asking me kung meron bang umabot sa point na I had to take action against certain types of disinformation being spread about me. And that actually happened 2 weeks ago, I think, no? Na naging sobra-sobra na. Kasi syempre, election period ngayon. So iba naman yung bashing ng mga tao na siguro hindi sila masaya sa trabaho mo. Yung mga bashing na natatanggap ko nung simula ng pandemic, no? Pero ngayon, iba naman ang natatanggap kong bashing. This is trolling in relation to the elections, no? At ang dami talagang, Noel, mga disinformation na kinalat na medyo masama talaga at hindi talaga totoo. Kasama dyan yung na tayo ay nag-overpricing ng ayuda, pinagkakitaan natin yan up to 400 million, 500 million pesos. And that is a complete lie, no? And of course, the truth will always set you free. And the Commission on Audit already said that this is a lie, this is not true. There is no, or they did not say it was a lie, but they said there was no evidence for any anomalies or irregularities as has been accused of us, no? Pero 2 weeks ago, nung pinapakita ko sa City Liga, lahat ng iba-ibang mga pinagsasasabi about us, sabi niya, sandali, medyo libelous na lahat yan. And we have a cyber libel law. No? So bawal talaga yan. So sabi ko, sandali, tama ka. Kailangan natin tong aksyonan. No? Kasi una, Noel, it's International Women's Month. So I'm going around giving speeches about women's rights, about fighting for oneself, about standing for one's own rights. No? Ano naman ang kaya ang sasabihin ng mga kababaihan sa akin kung ang sarili kong mga karapatan hindi ko ipagtanggol or hindi ko kayang makipaglaban para sa aking sarili at hinahayaan ko lang matapak-tapakan ng mga bullies dyan, cyber bullies. No? So that is a bad message if I don't fight for myself. But second also is how can I fight for the people of Quezon City if I cannot even fight for myself? So I had to do this because there has to be justice also. People cannot be irresponsible with regards to how they act, and they cannot just go around violating the law. And of course, we already know, I had very clear evidence who was responsible, and I had to do this. And if you notice, sabi niya, it was politically motivated. Kung politically motivated siya, well, it would be all over the newspapers and I would be capitalizing on it in every TV show. But I didn't. I did it very quietly, brought it to the proper forum so that it could be addressed in the proper forum. No? So ngayon, I'm just quiet about it kasi it's already there in the legal system at hinahayaan ko na yung legal system to take over.
Very good, very good. But what was the most hurtful of the accusations or the things that were hurled against you, Joy, na parang it prompted you to take legal action already?
Noel, you're really choppy.
Ay, but everything's working. Everything's working. But what was the most hurtful na issues that were hurled against you na parang you had to take legal action already? Yung tipong nasaktan ka talaga. I can like, oh, what's happening? I can hear you.
Well,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Noel, you're freezing talaga, Noel.
At talaga? I can hear, but I can hear you. We're recording.
Okay, but you're not moving in my screen.
At talaga? Pero ikaw nag-move dito sa amin. We're just like recording.
Eh,
Anyway, okay lang, okay lang.
Basta I can hear your voice. Nakahusaya naman this interview. I can hear your voice.
But I can hear you too. I can hear you too. So,
Okay.
okay. So, what was the most hurtful comment na binato sa'yo na tipong prompted you to take legal action already?
Ako, Noel, of course, it was the fact na maraming hindi totoong mga bagay na pinapost as fact. No?
That's true.
Okay. Pero yung mga yon, hindi naman siya hurtful. They were just lies. And I felt that they should be addressed legally because they are lies and they are being perpetuated as truth. And that is a crime. So yun lang yon. Pero yung for me, yung pinaka tingin ko, hindi naman sa na nakasakit na, hindi na ako nasasaktan medyo manhid na nga ako Pero sa pinaka tingin ko mali at kailangan iwasto ay yung pag-akusa sa akin ng overpricing because that implies corruption. And you do know, Noel, that my number one policy here is good governance. Good governance, and that is the reason why the Commission on Audit awarded Quezon City with an unqualified or clean opinion. Ibig sabihin nun, katiwa-tiwala ang ating pamahalaan dahil maayos ang paggastos natin sa pananalapi ng ating pongkaban ng bayan. And I felt that that was a direct affront to my policy of zero corruption. At sabi ko, hindi ako papayag na ganito. Kaya nga I went to severe means talaga para lang maklear yung pangalan ko dito. At ito namang katunggali ko, went to COA, ini-insist niya na ibaligtad ng COA yung kanilang clean opinion, i-reinvestigate daw nila ako, etc. And COA came out with the same answer, which was they upheld the clean opinion and wala silang nakitang anomalya o irregularidad. No?
I can attest to that. The test of character talaga, yun parang zero corruption, Joy. Alam ko galit na galit ka sa mga taong corrupt and we've talked about a lot of them.
Yun.
And then at a certain point, we were surprised that a student council president na pinagkatiwalaan mo si Heaven Torres, no? Parang nandyan sa'yo dati, inampun mo bilang kasama mo dun sa team and now going against you. Ano ba yun?
Yeah, actually, Noel, napakalungkot nun kasi we're very, very good friends. At siya yung student council chairman ng Ateneo nung batch natin. And he had worked already with many mayors. Mayor Abby Binay, Mayor Len Oreta, Mayor Toby Chanco, Mayor Oca Moreno. He worked with the MMDA. And, I received warnings from all of these individuals whom I know personally. Winarningan nila ako patungkol sa kanya. Binigyan pa nga ako ng ebidensya ng ilan sa kanila. No? And I did not believe because I have worked so hard with this person and I've known him since we were teenagers. So parang hindi ako naniwala na ganun siyang tao. Dahil student council chairman ng Ateneo, parang hindi ka duda-duda naman nagagawa ng ganun. Hanggang sa umabot sa punto na may nagbalita sa akin isang sabihin na natin tao from the business sector na siya daw ay hiningan ng lagay or hiningan ng porsyento in exchange for a project in the city at ginamit yung pangalan ko, si Mayora humihingi ng ganito. And when I heard that, sinabi sa akin by a very close friend of this businessman, sabi ko hindi na to pwede, hindi na ako magto-tolerate ng ganito. And so I had to let him go. And siguro ngayon, siguro nasaktan siya dahil ako na yata yung last resort niya, ako na lang yung naniniwala sa kanya. Tapos siguro kaya ngayon siya nasa kabila. Yun yung ganun talaga.
Nagulat ako dun sa pangyayaring yun. At Joy, it also talks about how you deal with people na parang kaiba. Parang nagulat ka kasi you're very trusting, no? Tapos paano, ano yung policy mo dun sa mga tao na binibetray ka? Parang ang dami na nila, di ba?
Ang dami na nila. Well, una sa lahat, it
Ang
comes with
bait
the
mo pa rin.
territory.
Ang bait mo pa.
Hindi naman, it comes with the territory. Alam mo naman yan, Noel. Because syempre, there are two types of politicians or two types of leadership or two types of public servants. No, there's the traditional and there's the progressive. And I consider myself in the progressive category. Yung progressive politicians, we are here to serve. And we have no hidden agenda. We do not want wealth. We do not want status. We do not want prestige. We do not really want power. Now, if ever we have the power, it is the power to transform the lives of others for the better. But there are traditional politicians who are here for a different agenda. It's to enrich themselves because of their opportunities. Talaga marami. No, to generate prestige, status, iba yung kanilang mga layunin, no. At tayong mga progressives, napakahalaga sa atin. Our most valuable asset is our reputations. Na yung ating magandang pangalan. Kaya napakahalaga sa atin na may isang salita tayo, na pinapatupad natin ang ating mga pangako, na hindi tayo nagbibitiw ng mga pangako na tingin natin ay baka hindi natin maipatupad yun dahil aasa lang ang tao. Pero may mga tao naman dyan na nasa kabilang spectrum, lahat gagawin, lahat sasabihin, lahat ay pagtataksilan para lang sa sariling interes. No? At alam naman natin yon. And so we have to navigate our values, our kind of politics in this whole spectrum where the other half are your opposite. And that's the way it is in politics. And kaya ang napakahalaga dito is kailangan matibay ang loob mo. Kasi masakit talaga kapag malapit mong kaibigan, malapit mong katrabaho na nakinabang sa'yo dahil nabigyan mo ng position of trust and confidence. Tapos pinagtataksilan ka. Masakit yon, pero at the same time, ang sa akin lang, problema niya rin yon, hindi ko siya problema. Problema niya yon. Okay, hindi ko siya problema dahil hindi ako ang nagtaksil, hindi ako ang nanira ng aking salita. Buo pa rin ang aking paninindigan bilang isang tao at buo pa rin ang aking layunin na maglingkod ng tapat at maayos sa aking mga mamamayan. At sana, ang ako lang, siguro ang lesson learned ko lang, siguro hindi masyado magtiwala sa lahat ng mga tao. Kasi medyo keep something for yourself because it really hurts naman din talaga kapag yung isang malapit sa'yo ay siya yung pinakaunang nagtaksil sa'yo dahil inisip na yung kanyang sarili.
Totoo, hindi lang yung taong pinag-usapan natin na even some staff members during the COVID situation, no, na tipong tao talaga ng City Hall na nagbibigay ng mga pictures na kakaiba tapos naglaland sa social media pero napatawad mo lahat yung mga yan. Joy, how do you ground yourself dyan sa mga ganyan na parang ang hirap, di ba? Parang the ideal thing is forgiveness. Pero nasasaktan din at usually kami yung nasasaktan, kaming kilala ka, yung nasasaktan para sa'yo, no? We know you're tough, you know you're focused on your goal, pero how do you ground yourself na tipong hindi ka eaten by the disgust and yon parang disappointment on these people?
Well, una, you have to manage your expectations. At alam ko na ganito talaga ang politika because matagal na rin naman na nandito sa politika yung aking father, no? Alam ko naman na nandito siya. And if you noticed, hindi ako agad nag-enter into politics. I did other things. Because if you do other things wherein you're just a normal person, I was teaching in UP, for example, as a normal person. I studied abroad. I worked to earn extra money just to support my studies, no, and to support myself while I was abroad. When you do things as a normal person, nasasanay ka naman to be a normal person. Ganon. So, at in that process, napapatibay mo yung iyong sarili kasi kailangan may mga paghamon sa buhay. So, entering the job market, doing things without the perks na anak ka ng mayor or what, or mayor ka mismo, helps you stay grounded, helps you to remember you're just a normal person. You don't deserve anything better than any other person. And kailangan kang makipagsapalaran sa mundo katulad din ng iba. So kailangan magpalakas ka ng kalooban mo. Yun yung una, no? Kaya hindi ako masyadong apektado. Nakakainis siya, pero hindi to the extent that some people think I should be. And then another thing pa, kasi Noel, kailangan yung nasa top of mind mo is why you're here. The
Yes.
why of public
Yes.
service. And the why of public service is the people. No? So, kailangan wag ka magpa-distract doon sa mga taong gusto ka siraan, gusto kang pabagsakin, gusto
Very
kang
good.
i-embarrass. Kasi nandito ka para sa tao eh. Kailangan hindi mawala sa focus mo yon na sila yung dahilan kung bakit ka naandito. At you just see the other people as noise. Itong mga naninira sa'yo, noise lang sila. I-block out mo yung noise. Ngayon, bakit ko na kaya kong ipatibay ang sarili ko? Kasi lagi po akong bumababa, Noel. I see the people, I see them on the ground, I see their experiences. And for me, how can you even be a traditional politician in that kind of context where people are not studying, people are not eating, people are not working, people have no homes? How can you even think of enriching yourself, even if you can? Because you know naman how government works, there's so much corruption. Even if you can be that way, enrich yourself, why would you do that knowing that the people you're serving are living in such squalor? You cannot in conscience do that, no? And those are the things that ground me. And so these people, pag ginagawa nila yan sa akin, actually, I'm sorry to say, hindi ako masyado apektado sa kanila. At gusto nilang maging apektado ako. Yan ang importante natin kailangan malaman, Noel. They want me to be affected because they want me to be distracted from my work so that I cannot perform my duty to the people. But sorry to say, na-build ko kasi yung character ko, Noel, with a mother like my mother, with a father like my father, with experiences that I've gone through living on my own. I've built character. And as the great, Iron Lady herself, Margaret Thatcher says, character building is a habit. You have to wake up consciously, deciding, I will continue to do what is right and what is good today. And then tomorrow you make that same commitment. And every day you make that same commitment. And you're able, and then you will see, you will be able to succeed.
Ang galing, no? Parang pagpapalawak din ng konsyensya kasi konsyensya na lang yung magpapropel sa'yo ng to do good work, no? But Joy, what are the key areas now that you would focus on yung efforts mo in the next term that you're seeking from the people?
Well, first, Noel, I have a 14-point agenda of governance.
Right.
This is my platform. I have a platform. I presented it to the people, and I have been following this particular platform in my first 3 years, despite the presence of the pandemic. And this focuses on 5 areas. Now, this is institutional development, infrastructure, economic development, the environmental protection, and humanitarian and social services. No? And I'm happy to say na kahit na may pandemya, marami tayong budget na dapat napunta sa mga programang ito na divert sa pandemic response. Still, we were able to succeed in addressing areas in this spectrum of, or in this framework that I've put forth. No? And number 1 dito, Noel, is yung institutional development. Kasi dito nakasalala yung good governance na pinaglalaban ko. Kasi para sa akin, pag maayos ang pangangasiwa talaga ng ating pamahalaan, may internal controls, no? May accountabilities, transparent tayo sa mga ginagawa natin, maayos ang ating mapatakaran, pinaparusahan yung mga gumagawa ng mali, which is according to law. Okay, hindi vengeance ha, hindi ito dahil politika, pero dahil mali yung ginawa niya, dapat managot siya. That's part of accountability.
Consistent, no? Consistent.
Yes. Consistent. Tapos kung may mga nagtrabaho beyond the call of duty, we also have to reward them, incentivize them. Pag inayos mo yung institutional structures ng pamahalaan, you can have good governance. And with good governance, you can serve the people better. Because service delivery comes from good management of the resources of the city. Kaya lahat ng binabanggit kong mga housing, pabahay, kalusugan, edukasyon, empleyo, at yung pag-attract ng mga negosyante na mag-invest sa lungsod natin, lahat yan nagmumula sa perception sa mga negosyante, perception of good governance in the city, and sa mga tao makakarating, mararamdaman nila ang pagmamahal ng lungsod sa kanila kung nandyan yung pondo at hindi natin winaldas, hindi natin sinayang, hindi natin ginamit sa walang kwentang mga proyekto, kundi inalam natin ang kanilang mga tunay na pangangailangan through consultations with the people. Kaya people participation is so important. Tapos ibinigay natin ang akma sa kanilang mga pangangailangan. And I feel that by fixing itong structures of government na nagiging sagabal sa good governance, which is the source of good service delivery, we can improve on everything that the city needs.
Ang galing lang, Joy, kasi that's so very thorough and diligent of you, no? You can like put it in a playbook para kasi long after you're gone, people can just look at your playbook and that can be parang a testament to what people can follow afterwards. Diba? Parang legacy work. Are you like documenting all these?
Yes, we are documenting everything actually. Lahat ng
Very
ating mga
good.
ginagawa. We have an annual report every year.
Yes.
Nandiyan lahat na ginawa natin, mga strategies natin. Kompleto po siya. And everyone can research this. No? Ano yung ginawa. And lahat ito ay hindi po siya sugar-coated. Wala pong sugar-coating dito. Pag sinabing ito yung targets, we didn't meet the targets, sinasabi namin. And then we analyze, why didn't we meet the targets? You know, we don't sugarcoat, unlike other politicians. They only put their best foot forward. Hindi siya makatotohanan, hindi siya pwede maging reference material kasi alam mo, medyo kinalikot yung mga bilang para magmukha silang maganda or gwapo or pogi or whatever. Pero tayo, we just want the truth told to the people. Because for me, Noel, at the end of the day, a relationship, whether husband or wife, or a relationship between people and leader, nakasalalay pa rin sa tiwala nila sa'yo. So kung hindi sila nagtitiwala sa'yo dahil nagsisinungaling ka or nambobola ka sa kanila, hindi ka tumutupad ng pangako, lahat yan nakakasira ng isang relasyon. At kung hindi maayos ang relasyon mo sa taong bayan, hindi uunlad ang lungsod mo. Because we really need governance to be about government and the people working together. Yan ang aking paniniwala.
So ay maganda niyan, no? Parang you compile everything and make it really parang the principles of the good governance that you follow, and then all the other cities can adopt that and then see, no, how ano yung na-accomplish nila based on those points. And even policies, no? You've institutionalized certain policies also na kahit wala ka na dyan, no? Pero I hope we'll still be there not to implement those policies. Yung tipong walang tinatagong mga rules. Alam ng mga tao yung mga sinusunod nila ng mga batas. Parang ako, yun, magandang proyekto yan, magandang legacy yan para sa atin. Pero ano pa, Joy, yung pwedeng maasahan ng mga tao? So, aside from those you've outlined already, based on the concerns on the ground, alam ko, nandun ka pa, yun yung mas mahalaga talaga sa'yo. Policies are policies and you meet your counsel for that. But when you're on the ground, ano pa yung parang matinding hinaing nila na nilalapit sa'yo?
Yeah. So pag naayos na po natin ang ating bahay, let's say good housekeeping tayo dito. Ito yung mga maasahan ng mga tao. Yeah. So una, number one is pabahay. Okay, and this is my closest advocacy, in fact, because about a third of the people or a fourth of the people of Quezon City walang katiyakan ng paninirahan. Sila ay mga informal settlers, pero gusto talaga nila at nangangarap sila magkaroon ng sarili nilang tirahan. No? So that's one. And we have started that process. We have been procuring lands. We have been entering into agreements with the National Housing Authority, who own most of the lands in our city. We have been making an inventory of the lands of the city as well of the private sector na willing nilang ibenta sa atin para tayuan natin ng pabahay o kaya pwedeng bilhin ng mga informal settlers yung kanilang tinatayuan na ng kanilang tahanan sa murang halaga sa lungsod na nila bibilhin, hindi sa private sector. So we are in, marami tayong schemes, in other words. We even have a rental housing program wherein people can now rent a decent home for as low as 800 pesos a month. And that's something that's new here in Quezon City that we thought of because we decided na sa pabahay, walang one size fits all. There are different kinds of families, different means, pero kailangan gawin ng pamahalaan lahat ng paraan para yung mga taong taga Quezon City ay makatira sa Quezon City. Kasi in previous administrations, ang kanilang naging policy, kung hindi mo kaya yung presyo ng socialized housing na inaalay namin sa inyo, dun kayo sa probinsya tumira. Pero umalis na lang kayo, magpa-relocate kayo. Pero
but
sa akin,
work is here, no? Nandito yung trabaho nila eh.
I believe it does not work kasi babalik din sila at magiging informal settler na naman sila kasi yung trabaho na andito o kaya walang healthcare, walang education kung saan sila lumipat. So para sa akin, pag taga Quezon City ka, mayaman ka man o mahirap, kailangan mabigyan ka ng pagkakataon to live in the city that you love, that you cared for, that you grew up in, where you were born. And that's why we have different schemes that are affordable to different social classes. No? For them to be able to have decent housing, that's one. The Another is education. I really want to improve on
Yes.
education here in our city. And through my time, yung ating pong Quezon City University, na-accredit siya. For the longest time, nandyan siya. Hindi siya nagiging priority ng previous administration. Pero in my time, na-accredit siya ng CHED. At dahil na-accredited siya ng CHED, lahat po ng mga batang nag-aaral sa ating pong local na university, yung Quezon City University, libre na po ang matrikula. At meron pa po silang subsidy, all from the national government. No? And we would like to build more campuses of our Quezon City University so that more children can be educated for free in a quality setup. No? And we also have about 20,000 scholarships that we are giving to senior high school and college students for those na hindi nag-aaral sa sarili nating pamantasan pero nangangailangan ng suporta. At ito yung kakaiba, Noel, na gusto ko rin lang banggitin. No? Before, kailangan nasa top 10 ka para makatanggap ka ng scholarship galing po sa lungsod. Pero now, I say no. Kahit na yung grade mo mababa, 75 na 76, basta pasado ka, determinado ka, porsigido ka, may ambisyon ka, may pangarap ka sa buhay, may karapatan ka makapag-aral, and you can be a scholar of the city. And we will improve on this. We will increase the number of scholarships, and we will also my plan is to build more campuses for our local university as well. So,
Joy, I remember you were looking for someone, a figurehead for that Quezon City Academy or for Quezon City University, no? Pero nagka-COVID. So paano yan? Parang despite the pandemic, na-accredit pa din yung Quezon City University.
Yes.
Galing naman.
Na-accredit pa din, and we were able to go through the process of finding a president for the university. We found one, a very good one, and she's very dynamic. And we are very aligned in our objectives and our vision for the city government and our university. Kaya she's now working very hard. At isa sa mga napagtagumpayan namin, kasi alam mo naman, one of my advocacies, one of my programs is urban farming, di ba? Food security for our people. So ngayon, magkakaroon tayo ng Center for Urban Agriculture dito sa Quezon City University, the first of its kind in any urban setting. Kasi may mga lupa naman tayo na pwede.
And we enjoin our friends, yung mga nag-JVP, no, to like serve in that university if they want education as their sector, magturo, di ba? You're asking for that, no, for prospective teachers, yung mga gustong mag-extension work, pwedeng gawing extension work in Quezon City University.
Yes, of course. And we have one, JVP, na nasa Board of Regents ko, si Mr. John Lagdameo. He sits in my Board of Regents. Yeah.
Ang galing.
So apart from that, of course, we have to make sure to migrate all the processes for renewal of businesses, for building permits, etc. online. Kasi ito yung mga sources of corruption. Kailangan ilagay natin online para mapadali para sa mga negosyante na magtayo ng negosyo sa Quezon City because more jobs, more businesses mean more jobs for our people. So that's one of our other priorities, and also of course social services. Sabi nila, bakit yung mga negosyo related transactions lang ang online? How about social services? So now you can apply for our pangkabuhayan QC, which is a 20,000 peso grant given to small business owners that would like to probably rejuvenate their businesses dahil naapektuhan ng pandemya o kaya gusto magsimula ng negosyo. We have that can be applied for online. Yung scholarships pwede rin online. So at the moment, everything will be migrated online. No? Tapos doon naman sa mga hindi tech savvy, what we have done is decentralized governance. So dati lahat pipila sa City Hall. Ngayon, sa bawat distrito ng Quezon City, meron ng mini City Hall kung saan pwedeng silang pumunta, at ang aking policy hindi pwedeng pabalik-balik. Kailangan doon mismo, when they go there, they receive the service that they went there for. No?
Ang galing. Pero trabaho naman, Joy, yung empleyo, ang ganda nga na ano mo, no? And we have to make mention, yung mga nawalan ng trabaho sa ABS-CBN, kinuha mo talaga, Fearfold. Maraming salamat kasi parang habang yung kalaban mo sila yung nagpasara ng ABS-CBN, ikaw yung nag-adjust at parang nag-ampon sa kanila dyan. What's your program dun sa pagbibigay ng trabaho sa mga taga-lungsod?
Well, first, yung mga taga-ABS-CBN, alam nyo, napakahusay nila. Sayang na nawala sila ng trabaho because they are so talented. And I felt that, okay, wala na silang trabaho, many of them can serve the city. Sinabi ng mga tao na I need good PR, I don't want to spend money on PR, but there is a department in our city that takes care of the PR of the city. So they are the ones now that are manning that particular department, taking care of the PR of the city. And I think that if the city has good PR, then the mayor obviously will get good PR, no? And then with regards to employment in general naman, eto. So number one, kung tayo ang preferred business destination ng mga malalaking negosyante dahil trust nila yung lungsod natin, dahil hindi natin sila niloloko, dahil mabilis mag-issue ng mga permits dito, automatic maraming mga jobs na create para sa ating mga mamamayan. Second, pag gumagawa tayo ng mga courses sa Quezon City University natin, we always work with the private sector. Inaalam natin ano ba ang mga kailangan ninyong trabaho. Para pag nag-train tayo ng mga tao sa ating pong pamantasan, we train them on the skills needed by the private sector. And that's why the motto of our university is to be a institute wherein everyone is employed or employable.
And you serve the city mismo, no? Parang yun, you're relevant, your education is relevant to serve mismo your environment. Ang galing. Joy, next, aside from empleo, it's really medical and parang hospitalization and health, no? So nakita natin yan sa pandemya. What's your program on that?
Well, with regards to health, ito talaga naging maliwanag sa atin. The need, no? For number one, ang ginawa natin, lahat ng health centers natin, ngayon dapat there's one doctor per health center. Dati kasi, nung minana ko itong lungsod, one doctor for every 3 health centers, tapos walang regular schedule. So, hindi kinagawian ng taong pumunta sa health center. Ngayon, with one doctor per health center, hopefully health-seeking behavior will improve and also the services will improve. The second is, kailangan laging may gamot sa health center at libre ito para sa mga mamamayan. Dala lang nila yung reseta, punta sila sa health center, assess sila ng doctor, they can get medicines for free. No, yan, sa health center sector yan. No? Tapos gusto ko rin na sana women's health issues pwede na rin i-address sa health center kasi ang daming sakit na natatangi sa kababaihan, and I'm talking as a women's rights champion now, no, na pwede natin i-include yung ilang mga tests for women's health like mammogram machines sa mga health centers mismo, no. And then of course we only have 3 locally run hospitals out of 6 districts, no. One is a tertiary hospital, one is a secondary hospital, one is a level 1 hospital. Kailangan i-level 3 natin lahat yung mga yan. Isa yan sa mga advocacies ko. Tapos kailangan, as much as possible, all districts sana magkaroon ng locally run public hospital para sa mga mahihirap natin mga mamamayan. So eto medyo challenging kasi mahal magtayo ng hospital. Pero maswerte rin tayo because of the pandemic, marami ring mga hospital na naghirap at nagsasara. So isa sa mga tinitingnan nating mga strategies, and the same with the universities, is maghanap tayo ng mga paaralan at mga ospital na nagsara na dahil sa pandemya, bilhin na lang natin ito, wala na tayong ipapatayo pa, iampunin na natin, nandyan na lahat. So sa lalong madaling panahon, pwede na natin i-operate. So we're now looking for these particular hospitals, and schools as well.
Very good. So you'll be building or probably adopting or reviving hospitals na nagsara. Well, ang maganda lang sa'yo, you network very well with the private sector. I know when you call the private hospitals, they're able to accommodate our residents, no? Lalo na nung nagka-COVID cases. So parang ako nakikita ko yung magandang parang pagtatalaban ng private sector at government sa pagsugpo nga ng health problems natin. And you see yourself building more hospitals or more healthcare facilities for the city?
Yes, because there's a certain ratio. Parang kumbaga for a certain number of people, kailangan there should be a certain number of health centers. So I would like to fulfill that particular mandatory ratio, no, na dagdagan yung mga health centers vis-a-vis the number of people that these are serving, no. Pangalawa, itong mga health centers, kailangan yung mga databases nila electronic na, digital na, para hindi naka-logbook lahat, di ba? Para we can share medical records from one health center to another. Kasi kung lumipat, they can still access their medical records in another health center. So number 1 yan, yung mga health centers, because that's the primary healthcare facility for the people, no. Tapos hospital-wise, yes, like I mentioned earlier, we only have 3, and Manila has 6 districts in 6 hospitals in 6 districts. So gusto ko ganun din tayo sa Quezon City. Eventually, each district will have its own locally funded and run hospital.
Very good, very good. In terms of best practices, Joy, na pwedeng i-adopt ng buong bansa, ano yung sa tingin mo may pagmamalaki ng Quezon City? I know we've won awards, no? Yung sa Galing Po, yung mga ganong klase ng mga awards. And ano yung pwede nating mga parang pilot projects na gusto mong palawakin pa rin at i-adopt sa national level?
Nako, Noel, madami. Here in Quezon City,
I
marami
know,
tayong
pioneering.
maraming nagdalak may aral dito na gusto makita yung
True.
aming disaster risk reduction and management
Yes.
department kasi napakaganda ng aming DRRM
Yes.
responses. Lahat at saka yung mga protocols na na-develop namin in-house, magaganda yan, pwede natin i-share. Pati yung anti-drug advocacy natin, maganda yung mga na-develop natin mga protocols as well to address the anti-drug issue. No? So that's another area where we can help others. No? And then, isa yung third ko yung GAD, yung Gender and Development, kasi I'm a women's rights
Yes.
advocate. So napakarami nating mga GAD programs and projects na pwede rin natin i-share sa ating pong mga kababayan. And of course, the one that won the Galing Pook Award, that's our Grow QC. That is our program for food sustainability in our city. Yan yung pinaglalaban ko na sinasabi ko, kahit na nasa highly urbanized city ka, pwede kang magtanim ng pagkain para ma-alleviate yung kahirapan, yung kagutuman dito sa sarili nating lungsod. And there are much technologies that can be adopted that don't necessarily require big swaths of land. Pwede naman sa loob ng bahay, marami. May vertical, may rooftop, merong hydroponics, maraming paraan para pwede tayong to grow our own food for our own people here.
Ang galing. Have you practiced that in your own home already? Meron ka dong mga herbs, mga ganong klase?
Yes. Sa sarili kong tahanan in my house, I do. We have a herb garden and we have lettuce and other types of tomatoes and other types of vegetables. And in my father's house, mas malaki yung garden niya. Ano na rin siya, farm na rin yung garden ng tatay ko.
Napaka-forward-looking and yun nga, parang gusto natin maging model city yung Quezon City na pwedeng gayahin ng mga tao and yun, much of your being a diligent student would come into play. Yun yung pagdo-document nga yan and serving as parang a principle, a guide for other cities pa. Now, being still Women's Month, Joy, I'll let's pay tribute to those people, women, na tinitingala mo and who had great influence sa pagkatao mo. First, number one should be your mom, because she taught you and she's very respected in her field, our field actually, and then ito yung kailangan ng tulong yung media lalo na yung yung periodiko pa. So what does your mom taught you na hanggang ngayon pinangahawakan mo?
Well, my mother is the quintessential model for me of a woman leader because she was strong. Napakalakas niya. Napakatindi ng paninindigan niya. Yung mga prinsipyo niya, ang tibay-tibay talaga. Pero she's strong when she needs to be strong, but she's also extremely compassionate towards people. And for me, that's the perfect combination for a good leader. You must be strong when it's needed, but you must be compassionate because the people need a mother to look after them, especially in a city like Quezon City. So for me, she's the greatest model. And of course, alam naman natin, my mother, walang takot yan, fearless yan, risk taker yan. Diba?
Parang ikaw.
Oh, ganun. That's why she started so many newspapers, diba, in her time. And she did that out of faith and out of the principle that the people needed to read
True.
and to have access to media that is fair, that is just, and that tells the truth. And that was her advocacy. And that's why even if I'm not a journalist, I'm a public servant, I hold on to the principles of truth, even in public service.
That we're all truth tellers, Parang yun yung simula ng mommy mo. Who else? Sino sa society natin ngayon yung tinitingala mo na tipong, model woman and you share same principles as her? Aside from
offhand, I love Patricia Noon, yung nagsimula ng community pantry.
Totoo, di ba? Parang taga-Quezon City siya, di ba? Very simple intervention, kumaki. Tapos yun, I remember our episode with her na you just had to put systems, di ba? Ang maganda yung pag-marry ng kanyang passion, di ba? Dito sa passion, ito na-ignite. Tapos ikaw naman yung naglagay ng system. Di ba? At naiintindihan niya yon. Ang ganda nun, that part, sabi kong ganon, kung pwedeng magsama yung local government at saka initiative sa mga tao. So, have you been in touch with her?
Yeah, we gave her a Galing Pook Award during, Galing pa, sorry, hindi ka akin yung Galing Pook. Sorry, Gawad Parangal.
Gawad Parangal.
Yeah. Nung nakaraang Manuel Luis Quezon na awards, we gave her one because I really admire her. To be red tagged at a young age for doing something that is helpful to the community. Medyo traumatic yun. Tumutulong ka lang naman sa pamayanan mo. Biglang na-label ka na komunista or may masamang layunin, you want to overthrow the government. Para ang layo naman dun sa tumutulong ka lang sa mga nagugutom sa panahon ng pandemya. And she was so brave to be able to continue this. And she was such an inspiration. So from having one community pantry, nagkaroon ata tayo ng libong community pantries all over the country because of this one person. So I look up to her. And of course, another one, I'll just mention another one, that's teacher Sabrina Ongkiko, teacher Sab. Yeah, she was a JVP. Maganda.
Totoo.
Tapos ang talino, she could have really entered any other field or been a teacher in a university of great esteem. Pero she chose to be a public school teacher in one of our poorest communities here in Quezon City, and that is in Culiat Elementary School. And she has been there forever. And ang galing-galing niya. She's such a model. Pag sinabi mong Jesuit volunteer, model Jesuit volunteer yan talaga, because hanggang matapos na yung term ng Jesuit volunteer niya, na she's still serving the community. It wasn't just a stepping stone.
Excellence, commitment, and really faith also. And also, well, taga Quezon City rin, si Heidi Lynn is always there to support you. If there's anything, the sports program, sabi nga ni Ray, if there's anything like we can help with, I think we have a deal with UP na pagbalik yung face-to-face, she can be parang a guest professor or parang a lecturer dun sa weightlifting program nila. And if the city can be, she can be of use to the city, yon maganda rin yan. So, na red tag din, nakatulad ni Patricia Noel.
I know. You know, Noel, I just want to say hi. When I was the head of the sports program as vice mayor, weightlifting was one of the sports na pinopromote ko sa mga kabataan. So, one of the things,
sa palarong pambansa, wala para weightlifting. Kaya nga kung i-promote pa yun. And also, I have to put this in. Thank you for being the home of the vice president. Well, in our heart of hearts, parang walang talk ng politika, parang you share the same values, and then parang nagpapasalamat siya sa'yo sa lahat ng tulong. She understands you can't be present to, kahit na sinong politiko at this point, but you've really helped the vice president do her advocacies also.
Of course, because you know naman that I was one of her staunchest supporters when she became vice president. I was one of her leading, I would say, fighters in the Women for Leni movement.
That's true. Parang, beyond politics, parang we share the same values. And then thank you for opening the city, to her. Kasi alam mo naman gaano kahirap magkuha ng isang opisina. At saka parang parang ang laki ng tulong. Joy, ikaw mismo, as a woman, what else do you want to achieve? Kasi parang ikaw yung parang nagsisilbi na sa ibang mga tao. Pero how do you want to be served? Ikaw naman, parang
Hindi ko naman iniisip yan, Noel. Alam mo, because I always think to myself, how many people are given the opportunity to serve in the biggest city, most populated city in the country. Diba? So few of us. It's such a blessing to be in this position. It is already a gift from God. And so we have to maximize the opportunity that we have been given to really make positive change happen in this city, at least in this city. And so I'm not looking beyond my term, even my day. I actually live by the day, Basta may vision lang na sinusundan, pero every day for me is an opportunity to change a life, and every day for me is an opportunity to serve more people. And I just appreciate the life that is given to me every day to make that difference.
Babalik ko dun sa basic palagi ng mga taong nagtatrabaho ng maigi, ng masinsin. Joy, paano kung napapagod ka? Where do you turn to? Or anong ginagawa mo? And it just happens, diba? Sometimes.
Yeah, I don't really get tired naman. Kasi this job is such a maraming variety kasi sa job na to, Noel. Hindi lang siya, it's not just about dealing, let's say, high level, let's say, ambassadors, diplomats, o kaya, the UN, USAID, etc. Kasama yan. Siyempre, yung mga big-time technocrats, thinkers, ganyan, world change makers. Pero kasama mo rin din yung tao. So, ang dami mong nakakasalamuhang iba-ibang tao and you learn from all the people that you deal with, you know. And it's not something that's tiring when it's something that enriches your life.
That's true. That's true. But
Yeah.
then even God takes a rest. Or parang ikaw mismo, what's your idea of rest? Or what's your idea of like kunyari pampering yourself naman? How do you re-energize? Hindi ka pa nagko-concert abroad ulit kasi ganyan ka sa mga kaibigan mo, di ba? Parang pwede kang mag 1 week off like to listen to good music or to eat out. Ano 'yun sa'yo?
Mine is just to go home. Kasi kung
Okay.
makauwi ng maaga-aga, then you get to spend time with
I have to tell
my
the
family.
people don't know this. Ang average time mo ng going home is 10 o'clock. Ano ba yun?
Hindi naman si Ma'am Leni yun. Ako naman
Ikaw
hindi.
din, ha? Ikaw din yung sasabihin mo, kung mababa ka sa ground, tatapusin mo yung trabaho mo, maaga yung 10 o'clock. And then,
Yeah.
and
Totoo.
the best time to text Joy is 1 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock midnight. At gising ka pa. Grabe, at gising ka ng alas 6, alas 7. Is that your body clock?
Yeah, ganun na nga. Pero when it comes with age naman, diba? Maaga naman talaga tayo nagigising.
Oo
Diba?
naman. That's deep.
Yeah.
Well, ano yung indulgence mo? What makes you happy? What gives you joy? Food? What
Yeah.
food?
No, I like to spend time with my family, my son and husband. Yeah, and then they're both very wide readers, so we like to discuss what books we've just read or what current events are happening around the world. Kung may panahon, like in the past, before the pandemic started, every holiday season from the 25th to about the 1st or the 2nd of January, we are on holiday, so we take about a 10-day holiday in some very remote part of the world kasi I'm an archaeologist by profession. So kailangan balikan ko yung roots na yan para hindi ko makalimutan kasi yan talaga yung passion and love ko, yung archaeology. So we go to places like Jordan, like Egypt, like Greece, like Turkey, and then we visit archaeological sites. And I'm grateful that I have a husband who admire and who loves history as much as I do. So,
Hindi
happiness.
clingy si Ray, no? Hindi rin clingy si Ray. Ang maganda rin lang sa inyo, parang hindi outward. Parang ang nangyayari sa inyo, parang magkakasama lang kayo, masaya na. But yun nga, and during the pandemic, buti you had more time, no, to spend with one another. Parang nakapagpondo na kayo ng family time together, and now it's really work.
No, the pandemic worse. I hardly saw them because I was always at work because of the
Pero nung nagkasakit kayo pareho, parang di ba that is one good point. When you were attending to Ray's admission dun sa hospital, naka-quarantine ka pero ikaw yung in charge, di ba? Kasi ayaw niya magpa-special treatment nung una dun sa hospital. Parang ay ang ganda na tipong si Joy is able to like put the family together pa rin despite the pandemic.
Yeah, kasi ako ayoko sa bahay kasi ako nga may policy na dapat hindi sa bahay, sa isolation facility.
That's true.
And so I went to my own isolation facility, yung Hope facility namin. Doon ako nagpa-isolate. And it's also a good sign para pakita sa tao na maganda yung isolation facilities namin kasi nakakayanan namin na I myself I'm using our isolation facilities. They're good enough for anyone, no? And then my own husband nagstay sa isolation facility din ng lungsod. Kaya lang nagkaroon siya ng komplikasyon. So he had to be transferred to a hospital dahil may comorbidities ang asawa ko, no? So na-hospital siya. Pero yung anak ko naman sa bahay kasi bata naman na nagka-COVID. So actually hindi kami together. Pero sabay-sabay kami nagkasakit. Kaya we have this common bond.
And you were like Otto, di ba? Facilitating and coordinating with everyone. But then any other thing about learning about family dynamics during the pandemic and even after, kasi maraming naninibago na tapos na yung pandemic or parang although nandyan pa rin, parang we've gotten over it already, and now families will adjust to the new normal.
Yeah. Wait, what was your question, Noel? I'm sorry, kinakausap ako.
Ano yung pwede mong advice sa mga tao adjusting to the new normal now? Kasi medyo marami rin nagbababa na ng guards nila ngayon. Na tipong, parang normal na lahat. But otherwise, parang ano yung pwede mong paalala sa mga tao, sa mga pamilya na well, oo, nandyan pa rin yung pandemic and we have to live with it. Diretso na yung buhay. But it's still not normal, no, Joy?
Hindi talaga. Actually, in Quezon City, mababa yung bilang talaga. Our our average daily attack rate is way below 1. No? So it's very low. And then siguro yung daily active cases natin, wala pang 20. Ang baba talaga, given na population that 3 million. Pero alam naman natin kung ano nangyayari sa Hong Kong. Alam naman natin kung ano nangyayari sa South Korea. No? So meron sa China itself. No? So alam naman natin the risk is still there. So ang akin lang sa payo sa mga mamamayan natin, please continue to follow the rules and regulations being set by the government with regards to practicing minimum health standards. Huwag tayong magreklamo. Huwag natin sasabihin, ay, alert level 1, magpabaya na tayo. Hindi ganon. No? Kasi anytime a variant comes into the country, problem na naman para sa atin. At that is one. So huwag tayong magpabaya sa pagsunod sa minimum health standards. Always stay masked at the very least. Always wash your hands and magbaon ng alcohol. And kung kaya talaga yung social distancing. Alam ko mahirap panahon ng eleksyon, pero subukan natin gawin yon kung kaya. No? At pangalawa, magpa-booster kayo. Kasi ngayon, halos lahat, masasabi natin nagpa 2 doses na, okay. Pero nag-wear out na yan eh. Kailangan talaga natin magpa-booster para ma-renew na naman yung immune system natin, lumakas na naman ang pangangatawan natin. In the event that another variant comes in, we don't know, pero just in case, handa ang katawan natin to deal with this problem. So, yan ang paalala ko. We are still in the middle of a pandemic. Huwag natin kakalimutan, hindi pa tapos yung pandemic. Okay, nag-downturn lang siya, namahinga lang siya ng konti, pero anytime pwede siyang mag-surge. No? So, kailangan ganun din ang mindset natin. Huwag tayo magpabaya. Mag-ingat pa rin.
Very good reminder. Lalo na, paalala din na handang-handa ang Quezon City kasi natuto na tayo sa mga systems na in-institute ni Mayor Joy. And last words, because we're entering into the elections already, lalo sa local campaign, Joy, we'll be actively campaigning for you. Ateneo's behind you also. Anong pwedeng masabi mo sa mga tao in terms of local governance and then choosing their leaders well? Why? Because siguro mas nakikita natin yung mga ginawa ng mga tao nang walang eleksyon. Di ba? Dapat yun. Kaya ngayon, parang a lot of people will be courting for their votes. Pero ang pinakamaganda, tingnan yung resibo. And what's your message to the people? Because we see all your accomplishments and we appreciate you. Ano yung pwede mong gabay para sa mga taong nakikinig at pwedeng makarinig ng interview na to?
Well, una sa mga tao, no, I think napakahalaga itong election na ito. It's a very important election. And I think that it is important na hindi tayo magpadala. Kasi maraming nagpapadala eh. Uso to eh. Uso tong kandidatong to. Uso siya. So dito na lang tayo. Without actually knowing why. Marami ako nakausap kasi na hindi nila alam. So ang para sa akin lang, isaliksik naman natin ang bawat kandidato. Wala naman akong pinapaboran. Ang sa akin lang isaliksik. At tingnan ninyo yung kandidato na sa tingin nyo ay naayon sa panahon na kailangan natin ngayon, na may sapat na kaalaman, na may sapat na value system din. Kasi at the end of the day, skills can be learned or you can hire the best technocrats to serve you. But if you cannot be an example to these people or you yourself do not have the values to inspire these people to work, walang mangyayari. Lahat nagagaling pa rin sa leader na ating pong pipiliin. So kailangan talagang suriin natin yung pinakamahusay sa kanila based on certain criteria that I hope we set for ourselves. No, yun ang una kong siguro payo. At pangalawa, maging maingat sa disinformation at fake news. Napakarami ngayon na kumakalat ng mga fake news and disinformation. Ang dami-dami kasi nagsisiraan na talaga on social media. Ito yung bagong platform for campaigning given the pandemic situation. Take everything with a grain of salt. Confirm if you can or only read credible news sources. At alam naman natin kung ano yung mga credible news sources na yan. No? So, yan lang siguro yung payo ko. Huwag masyadong maniwala sa mga binabasa at pati sa mga sinasabing mga marites. Although I don't like using that word because it's a woman's word. It makes women
That's
seem
true.
like they're gossipy. Ayoko yon. Pero still,
Ah.
yung konsepto ng nakikinig lang tayo sa mga chismis-chismis, wag sana i-confirm, i-validate yung datos, lalong-lalo na pinag-uusapan natin yung kinabukasan ng ating mga anak. Hindi na nga ng ating sarili, parang anak natin eh. So, yun siguro yung aking number 2 na criteria or hinihili, apela sa mga taong bayan.
Ang galing, no? Well, our votes will be extensions of our values and ourselves. And we value you and we know you have our support. Maraming salamat, Joy. And thank you. Like, continue doing what you're doing, not only for the city, but for the whole country and setting the standard high. Alam ko mahirap yon, pero mahal ka namin, alam mo yan. So, thank you very much for teaching our women celebration, and we're here behind you.
Thank you so much.
Huwag ka magkakasakit. Happy birthday again.
Maraming salamat, Noel. Thank you for being a true friend to me. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you soon in better times.
Yes. And long after all these have gone, yung mga policies mo talaga institutionalized, tama yun eh. Kasi di ba, mawawala tayong lahat, pero yung mga policies, yung mga ginawa mo, yan yung magiging pamantayan ng mga susunod pa sa'yo. Maraming salamat, Joy.
Maraming salamat, Noel.
Thank you very
God
much.
bless. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
God bless you. everyone.
Salamat.
Hey, Katipuneros, don't change that dial because we'll be coming right back. Follow at Radio Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Radio Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/Radio Katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radio Katipunan and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content.
Sa darating na Mayo, piliin mabuti ang nais nating maging Pangulo ng ating bansa. Kilalanin natin ang kanilang pagkatao, kilatisin ang kanilang mga pananaw at saloobin para sa pagbabago at kaunlaran ng sambayanang Pilipino. Inihahandog ng Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, Jesuit Communications, Episcopal Commission on Social Communications, Veritas 846, TV Maria, Rappler, at ng CMN, the Catholic Media Network, ang Usapang Halalan 2022, the CBCP Election Forum. Makiisa, makibahagi, manood, makinig sa naiiba at espesyal na presidential forum na ito upang mas lalong makilala ang susunod na Pangulo ng ating Republika. Abangan sa March 25, Biyernes, alas 6 ng gabi sa lahat ng ating FM at AM radio stations ng CMN Catholic Media Network mula Apari hanggang Hulo. Jesuit Communications, Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM at sa iba't ibang mga social media platforms ng mga simbahan. Usapang Halalan 2022, the CBCP Election Forum.
To level up, your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Training, first time. For this
meron
no?
kang-
Go! Ang ganda lang.
I'm a bit nervous to be honest. Like,
Oo, challenging to,
it's
Davao to,
a-
no?
yeah, the territory. But when you mentioned it, it really spoke to my heart, and I knew I had to do this. So I guess purpose, di ba?
Totoo.
Purpose.
At walang tulog.
Hardly. Kasi birthday ni Ria tayo.
Correct.
Siyempre, I had to keep my word, you know?
Pwede.
I told her I would go. Sabi ko, dapat
Correct.
nga, Sabi ko, dapat totodo ko eh.
Okay.
Pero, kay
Okay
Leni
na
tayo
to.
totodo.
Okay
Kay
na
Leni
to.
tayo totodo.
Okay, let's go Davao.
Let's go! Ipanalo na natin to! With my Love and Leni shirt from Strange Mercy.
Meron ganun.
Yeah.
See you. Ito na Davao na. Boarding.
At hindi ko may papangako ang kulay rosas na mundo para sa'yo at hindi.
Excited ka makita.
Video to!
Excited ka makita. Alam mo, kinikilig ka makita si Cheljo.
Lahat! Siyempre si President Leni and Vice President Kiko and Senator Risa, my friend, Senator Chel, everybody.
Yan. So,
Madami. Lahat sila. I'm excited to see the people from Davao who are making a stand and being brave and really going out of their way. Si Yesha na nakasama ko sa hawak kamay, pupunta siya, nag-text. Excite ako.
Hindi ka natakot? Ba't di ka natakot na pumunta dito?
Ito interview.
Oo.
Ako yung interview.
So, hindi ka
Gusto mo
natakot?
yung interview? Ano?
Diba?
Mag hindi maganda yung lighting mo kasi galing
Maganda, okay
ayoko.
lang. It's so
Pangit
brave.
yung
It's so
lighting.
brave of you to be here.
Well, Noel, I called you to do a catch-up call with you.
Yeah.
20 seconds kasi tagal natin hindi nagkausap. Nagkwentuhan tayo tungkol sa Darna. Sabi ko, ano ang magagawa ko para kay Ma'am Leni kasi nangako ako sa kanya. Schedules, talagang taliwas. So nagbigay ka ng dalawang option. Yung isa hindi matutuloy. Yung isa, sabi ko parang hindi. Sabi mo, this Thursday, Davao. And immediately my gut, my heart, I felt it and I knew this is where I meant to go. So that's why I'm here.
And you
Natatakot
prayed,
ba ako?
you prayed, you meditated.
I always meditate every day. Ano pa?
But for this?
I pray. Yes, of course, extra. Yeah, prayers for divine protection. And I just knew that today, God's message is to just trust and surrender. Kasi we are divinely protected. And ano naman, I also believe naman that others may not be on our side.
It's good to talk to them.
I know your heart just, we're all made of love. So I believe in the love that's inside you.
Okay. Good point about you making this video with women. At may point ka na, sana gumawa din for men.
Sana yung mga lalaki gumawa din. Siyempre ang ating mga LGBTQ community
Yes.
gagawa din. Pero I really would love to see a video of all the men that support Leni. Kasi isa sa pinaka-lagi kong na-encounter is that ayaw daw siyang iboto kasi babae siya.
And what do you feel about that?
Siyempre masakit, di ba? Babae ako. Eh,
Ano sasagutin yung mga ganun?
in most households, who runs the household? But then, I'm not saying in all, ha? Kasi ako, I'm actually not a great homemaker.
Isip totohanan.
I'm
But, like, no, the
But
countries
I'm
that-
aware of that.
Of course.
That's why I'm not running for a political position. I can barely manage my own life and home.
mga nasasista doon. Totoong-totoo. Pero in countries that were headed by females.
During the
diba?
pandemic,
Diba?
and they were the ones that really had order and discipline and really had that. But you know, we can't compare. Siguro bakit si Leni? Bakit babae? Ang lakas na ng masculine power sa buong mundo. And that's great. And they both exist. The masculine energy and the feminine energy both exist in every human being. I think we need Ang tatag. Hindi ko kaya yung mga hinaya niya.
Yung tinapon na lahat na...
Hindi ko kaya talaga. Kaya, idol ko siya.
So, enter Jamie Rivera, Hilar. Okay.
I'm such a fan!
It's really pag-asa message.
damahin natin na lahat tayo ay superhero din. Isang malaking karangalan po na ipakilala ang nagbibigay inspirasyon sa atin at pag-asa tungo sa maayos, mahusay, masipag, maginhawa at mabuting Pilipino. Babasahin ko lang po kasi kinakabahan ako. Sabi, in your native tongue, Dabawenyos, akin na ang akong pinahulan! Maayong pag-abot sa probinsya sa Davao del Sur. Ang nararapat ng nasusunod na presidente ng Pilipinas. Ang nag-iisa, si Ma'am Maria Leonor Leni Robredo!
Alam niyo po, mula nung eleksyon ng 2016, nakabalik na ako dito ng several times dahil meron po tayo mga project dito. Iba-iba po yung mga projects natin sa iba't ibang mga probinsya dito sa Davao Region. Karamihan po doon tuwing may sakuna. Halimbawa po dito sa Davao del Sur, yung sunod-sunod na mga lindol, nagpadala po tayo dito ng mga teams para gumawa ng relief operations. At maraming mga lugar dito sa Davao del Sur, nagkaroon po tayo ng relief operations for the earthquake victims. Nung pandemic din po, tuloy-tuloy yung pagpadala natin sa napakaraming ospital sa buong rehiyon. Hindi lang po dito sa Davao del Sur, pero pati sa iba pang mga provinces dito sa Davao City. Meron din po tayo mga projects with other youth groups. Ito po yung aming Angat Buhay Youth na ang pinupush po natin ay mga programa sa pangkapayapaan. Ayon. Pero bakit ko sa inyo ito kinikwento? Dahil po pagdating kasi ng eleksyon, marami yung pupunta dito sa inyo at makikiusap manliligaw. At lahat pong makikiusap at manliligaw ang sasabihin, aasikasuhin ko kayo, mahal ko kayo. Pero yung sa akin lang po, alam ko na marami kayong kahirapan na pinagdaanan para makapunta kayo dito ngayong umaga. Marami sa inyo, siguro nagsimula ito, iilan lang kayo. Nagsimula yung iilan maglakas ng loob. Pero ito po, bakit tayo naglalakas ng loob? Bakit napakataas ng energy level natin ngayong araw? Diba? Bakit desididong-desidido tayo ngayong eleksyon na ito? Dahil yung pinaglalabanan ngayon, hindi na lang contest ng mga kandidato. Ang pinaglalabanan ngayon, kinabukasan yung lahat. Kanina po sa backstage, meron tayong mga bisita ng mga bata. And yung mga bisita natin, mga bata, kahit hindi pa magkakampanya, naiintindihan na. Sinasabi nila, we will campaign for you. Pero bakit ganito? Ako po, marami na akong eleksyon na pinagdaanan, si Senator Kiko, lalo na. Pero pareho po kami nagkukwentuhan na parang kakaiba talaga yung eleksyon na to dahil ang tao, napakataas ng pagmamahal sa bayan. And ito pong pagmamahal sa bayan, ito yung nagbibigay sa atin ng lakas para kahit mahirap, ay nilalakasan natin yung loob natin na tumindig. Naalala ko pa po, nung nagsisimula pa lang, kafa-file ko lang po. Diba, kafa-file ko pa lang, natutuwa ako, nakikita ko sa Davao City, meron pa ilan-ilan na nagpipink Wednesdays. Nagsusuot ng pink. Nakita ko din, nagkaroon ng parang motorcade. Nakita ko din, merong iba nagpapalugaw. Totally unexpected dahil Davao ito. Pero yung tanong ko, bakit ba andito kayo ngayong umaga? Marami sa inyo nagbiyaheng malayo pa. Sino ba yung galing sa malayo? Marami, di ba? Yung mga kakwentuhan ko sa likod, sobrang aga daw nilang gumising ngayon para magbiyahe papunta dito. Ano? 8 hours? Walang tulog. Sino yung mga walang tulog dito? Pero yun nga yung tanong natin. Alam nyo, everywhere we go, ganito yung fervor. Ganito yung init. Ganito yung lakas ng loob. Ito po, alam ko na hindi lang ito dahil sa amin, pero alam ko dahil ito sa malaking pagmamahal ninyo sa ating bayan. Kaya ako po sinasabi kanina, kwento ko po sa inyo yung mga projects na ginawa namin dito. Alam nyo po na malaki yung talo ko sa Davao nung nakaraang 2016. Maraming salamat. Pero ito nga po kaya ko siya kinakwento. Kasi dapat naman kaming mga lingkod bayan ganon. Na pagkatapos ng eleksyon, kinakalimutan na namin dapat yung politika. Diba? Pagkatapos ng eleksyon, wala nang mga kulay-kulay, wala nang parti-partido. Ang dapat inaasikaso na namin pangangailangan ng taong bayan. Kaya po ito yung klaseng governance, ito po yung klaseng pamamahala, ito yung klase ng politika na pinapangako namin sa inyo. Kaya po natin sinasabing gobyernong tapat, angat buhay lahat, dahil ang paniniwala namin pag ang gobyerno matapat, mas marami sa mga kababayan natin ang matutulungan. Ang gobyerno ng tapat, pinakita po namin ito sa Office of the Vice President. Kahit po kakaunti yung aming pondo, napakarami ng aming nagagawa dahil sinusiguro namin na yung kakaunti, napupunta siya kung saan niya dapat mapuntahan. Walang perang napupunta sa korupsyon. At wala, sa amin po, walang transaksyon. Walang transaksyon between politiko to politiko. Ito po pag-uusap lang Pilipino sa Pilipino. Ano ang pangangailangan mo? Ano yung magagawa ko para sa pangangailangan mo? Anong gustong sabihin ng gobyernong tapat? Maayos na pamamahala, disenteng gobyerno, matino at mahusay na mga lingkod bayan. Pag sinabi po namin ayaw namin ng korupsyon, marami po kaming resibong pwedeng ipakita. Ano po yung resibong yon? Hindi na lang po kami ang nagsasabi ng ayaw namin sa korupsyon. Ang COA na mismo nagsasabi, taon-taon nakukuha po namin yung pinakamataas na COA audit rating. Bakit mahalaga yon? Mahalaga po yon dahil hindi lang sa mas marami kaming natutulungan, dahil walang perang napupunta sa korupsyon. Pero mahalaga yon dahil pag ang taong bayan alam niya na yung kanya mga lingkod bayan ay hindi nangungurakot, nagtitiwala siya. Marami po kami nagagawa sa aming Angat Buhay programs dahil sa mga volunteers at dahil sa partners. Pero tingin nyo ba, kung hindi kami katiwa-tiwala, makakahanap ba kami ng volunteers? Wala. Dito po sa Davao, marami sa amin nagpo-volunteers. Yung mga nagpo-volunteer, yung mga doktor. Noong nag-roll out po kami ng bayanihan, i-konsulta, may mga galing dito mga doktor, nagpo-volunteer sa amin. Pero bakit sila nagpo-volunteer? Dahil alam nila na hindi masasayang yung kanilang pagod. Ewan ko po kung nakikita nyo sa Facebook, pag merong rally, hindi nagugutom karamihan dahil nagsishare-share ng pagkain. Pagkakatapos ng rally, hindi pa isang oras, malinis na lahat. Dahil yung mga nag-a-attend ng rally, sila din yung naglilinis. Yung pinakahuli pong napakalaking rally sa Pasig, marami yung mga nawalan, pero yung nawalan nila, nakuha din nila kasi may mga nagsauli. Pero bakit po mahalaga na i-point out natin ito? Kasi pinapakita nito na ang Pilipino sadyang mababait. Ang mga Pilipino sadyang mga malilinis. Naghahanap lang sila ng inspirasyon na yun yung pupukaw ng kanilang kabaitan at kahusayan. At ngayon, ito po yung klaseng pamahalaan na pag ang pamahalaan naging halimbawa siya. Naging halimbawa siya ng kabutihan, naging halimbawa siya ng pagkamaasikaso, naging example siya. Nakatiwa-tiwala tayo, lahat din sumusunod. At yung taong bayan, pag binigyan po natin ng choice, kung maayos o hindi maayos, pipiliin niya yung maayos. Ang problema lang ngayon, napakarami nating fake news. At yon po yung una kong hihilingin sa inyo. Napakarami po ngayong fake news, marami tayong mga kababayan, iba yung desisyon sa eleksyon dahil naniwala sa nababasa nila. Kaya pwede po ba kami makahingi ng tulong na sabayan nyo kami sa paglaban na yung kasinungalingan palitan natin ang katotohanan? Kaya yun sa atin po, pag ang katotohanan nababasa ng ating mga kababayan, sigurado akong ang pipiliin nila kabutihan. Halimbawa po kanina may binasa akong placard, dating nang babash. Di ba? Dating nang babash. Ako tingin ko, ganun lang naman kasi akala nila masamang tao tayo. Pero yung pagkamasamang tao, yung resibo po nandyan lahat. Tayo po nung binigyan tayo ng mandato, kahit napakakonti ng mandato natin, ginawa natin yung lahat. Ano po yung mga programa natin para sa mga kabataan? Dahil maraming kabataan dito. Ang atin pong pinapangako, dekalidad na edukasyon. Pangako natin na kahit may kawalan tayo ng panggasto, sigurado kayo makakatapos at siguradong dekalidad na edukasyon yung makukuha nyo. Paano po natin ma-achieve yung dekalidad na edukasyon? Unang-una, itaas natin yung budget ng edukasyon. Pangalawa, asikasuhin natin yung ating mga teachers. Ang sweldo po ng ating mga teachers malayo sa sweldo ng teachers sa ibang mga karatig bansa natin. Marami sa ating mga teachers, ang daming trabahong ginagawa maliban sa pagturo. Kaya po sinasabi natin para makakonsentrate yung teachers natin sa pagtuturo, alisan na sila ng mga admin na mga trabaho. Bigyan sila ng maraming mga trainings na hindi nila pagkakagastusan, pamahalaan ang nagbibigay para sa kanila. Dahil makakaproduce po tayo ng maayos na estudyante pag inasikaso natin yung mga teachers. Kaya eto po, ay nakita ko, ACT. Nandito pala kayo, ACT Teachers Party List. Ayan. Maraming beses nakausap ko na yung mga miyembro ng mga teacher organizations at eto yung mga kanilang hinaing. Gusto din nila naman na makatulong sa pag-ayos ng dekalidad na edukasyon, pero maraming sagabal. Ang akin pong pangako sa inyo, aasikasuhin namin kayo at ang makikinabang dyan yung mga kabataan natin. Sa kalusugan, ano yung ating programa? Aasikasuhin natin ang ating healthcare system na kahit wala kayong pera, ay makakatanggap kayo ng klase ng medical assistance na kinakailangan ninyo. Pero ito pong lahat na pangako na to, magagawa lang po natin pag inayos natin yung gobyerno. Dahil pag hindi po natin inayos yung gobyerno, wala ding pagbabagong kailangan. Wala din tayong pagbabagong maaasahan. Ang pagbabago po, wala po yun sa akin, wala yun kay Senator Kiko. Nasa atin lahat na pagbabago. Magkakaroon lang po ng pagbabago pag tayo sama-sama nagdesisyon na aayusin natin yung pamahalaan. Pero ito po, magdidesisyon lang ang taong tutulong siya pag nagtitiwala siya sa kanyang gobyerno. Ano pa po yung ating mga pangako, yung local government units, isa-strengthen po natin, lalo na yung mga barangay. Dahil sila yung takbuhan ng mga tao. Pero Pero gaya po ng sabi ko, pag panahon ng eleksyon, maraming pupunta dito, maraming mangangako. Pero yung mga nangangako, hanapan natin ang resibo. Pag sinabi nilang mamahalin nila kayo, tanungin nyo, nung hindi pa ba kayo kandidato, naisipan nyo man lang ba kaming silipin? Halimbawa po, dito sa Davao Region, dito lang sa Davao del Sur, sunod-sunod yung mga lindol. Nung dumadaan ba kayo sa sakuna, naisipan lang ba kayong kumustahin? Naisipan ba kayong tulungan nung nagsasabing mahal kayo? Kaya po ito, pag panahon ng eleksyon, sabi ko nga parang nililigawan din yung mga dalaga, maraming magpapapogi. Pero wag tayong maniniwala, ang tingnan natin ano yung kanilang track record. Ang track record, ang karakter, yun yung magpapakita kung yung pangako nila, magagawa nila. Ito po, 45 days na lang. Election na. Alam ko po na bago tayo makaipon ng ganito karami, nag-umpisa din tayo sa konti. Ngayon, parami tayo ng parami. Nakita natin dito, magkakasama tayo, pero dapat hindi pa tayo magkampante. Dapat lalo pa tayong magparami. Ano? Paano tayo magpaparami? Mangumbinsi pa tayo. Di ba? Mangumbinsi pa tayo. Kumbinsihin natin, paano ba tayo? Paano ba tayo nakumbinsi? Ganon din yung gagawin natin kung paano tayo magkukumbinsi ng iba. Pag ginawa natin yon, malaki ang pag-asa natin sa eleksyon. Kaya po ito, nagpapasalamat ako sa lahat ng nagsakripisyo para makasama natin ngayong araw. Hindi nyo po alam kung gaano kami nasisiyahan na alam namin dito sa Davao Region, may mga kasama kami sa laban na ito. Kaya maraming salamat po sa inyo. Ang paghingi ko po ng tulong ay hindi lang para sa akin, pero para din po sa aking mga kasamahan, ang aking pong Vice President, palakpakan po natin, Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Ang ating pong mga senador na kasama ngayon, Dinchel Jokno, Attorney Alex Lacson, may representative po tayo, Attorney Sunny Matula, Senator Laila De Lima, Senator Sonny Trillanes, pinapakiusap din po natin Senator Risa Hontiveros, Congressman Teddy Bagilat. Ayon, ito po, gaya ng sabi ko, 45 days to go. Marami pa po tayong kailangan trabahuhin. Kaya pa ba natin? Ayan, kung kaya pa natin, higitan pa natin yung lahat na ginawa na natin in the past few months. Pag tayo po magtrabaho ng sabay-sabay, mananalo po tayo pagdating ng Mayo. Kaya mabuhay po kayong lahat. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Muling ipagmalaki na ika'y isa. Pilipinong may pusong sagutin ang tugon. Pilipinong may tapang na muling bumangon. Pilipinong buo ang paninindigan. Alam ang tama at totoo. Samahan mo ako. At hindi may papangako ay rosas na mundo farming.
When we were kids growing up, we had a farm where Gary and my sister live now. That's at Tipolo.
Antipolo, yeah.
Many years ago, there was all rice fields, no
Yeah.
electricity. My dad set up a farm there. We had pigs, we had rabbits, chicken, and traditional vegetable varieties like okra, talong. So that's where I was exposed. And when I became chairman of the Senate Committee on that in 2010, after going around and seeing all the farms, I said, unless I farm myself, I won't completely understand
That's true.
what the farmers are going through. So my first harvest of lettuce was 2012, June. And I've been planting ever since.
Sorry, may I ask, how did that feel, your first harvest?
Oh, wonderful. It's bliss, happiness, fulfillment, everything. It's very difficult to describe, and then your children are marveling at the taste of your tomatoes, the lettuce, your produce, and they look for it.
In basic, no?
Yeah, so, grabe, it's sabi nga nila, no happiness can compare from the experience of a bountiful harvest.
Farmer,
But the opposite is also true. No pain more greater than your harvest damaged, completely lost because of typhoon. So it's
Or other things like Minari. If you did you watch Minari? It was one of the films that's selected for Best Motion Picture in the Oscars. Kailan ba yun? It's a Korean film. So I think you will like it as a
just to give you an idea of the, it's like a roller coaster ride because of the elements.
Yeah, that you cannot control.
Yeah. In March, for example, of 2014, I harvested 1 ton. 1 ton of lettuce. So that's 1,000 kilos of lettuce.
Okay.
March. Beautiful weather, cold. August, really bad weather. 9 days of rain, typhoon, 4 tropical depressions in 1 month. 1 month, same cost, same area, 45 kilos.
So it's like you actually just really make money in a certain time frame.
You don't make money every year. As long as you make money in a period of 3 years, for example, for your crops, because you also have ecotourism. That's not agriculture, but people come and visit and pay an entrance fee and so that one.
And experience like
harvesting, and then we do give some lectures on how to prepare vermicast or how to do something. So there is additional revenue for the farm, but it's not crops. It's farm visits.
farm visits. But do you have like a restaurant there? Like what Sonia?
But you supply. But you supply.
That's what. That would be a totally different experience as well.
But I see some of your produce in Antonia's,
Yeah, but that's what Sharon wants to do.
Because it's like farm to table experience.
She wants to put up, eventually when we retire,
Bed and breakfast.
Put up a bed and breakfast, and then a bake shop and a food shop.
The dream.
Yep. So,
to Davao.
oh, important because the crowd was amazing. Kids, especially the young people, were really so
they were the ones who organized,
see them, and they came from everywhere. And importante yun because it's a message also to others in Mindanao.
Na wag matakot.
Yeah, and masaya.
Matawas.
There's no solid north, there's no solid south. There's only solid love for country.
Galing. At ano masasabi mo kay Iza who joined us in the first time? Here.
Well, I told her earlier, sabi ko, wow, this is your first time and it has to be in Davao. So, matapang, di ba? Mahahawa yung iba sa tapang and sa paninindigan. And thank you for your love for your country. Thank you.
So how was your day?
Oh my God, thank you for your kind words.
How was your day?
It was purposeful, meaningful, obviously, and fulfilling. to feel the energy of the people. Naisip ko lang sa movie kasi na Starting Over Again, sabi ni Patty, in love, there is no fear. So, siguro dun tayo lahat ng galing today. You're divinely protected and supported, and alam mo lahat tayo, basta we radiate from a good place, yun lang naman din ang babalik sa atin. So, yun lang. So, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.
Oh no, the honor and the privilege to be fighting alongside you guys, that's with us. So it's an honor to be doing this.
Sa laban na ito, sabay natin gisingin ng nasyon.
Mga katipuneros, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on Radio-Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo